time permanent, which we would like to fill, like I said, sooner than later.
Okay. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
But what are we doing to fill those positions?
So again, once we get out of the budget window, we'll look to bring people in, interview and fill.
And like on the electrician side, right? So with the plumber, don't we often get Abe the plumber like from the union? Like they're a union person, but we hire them as an employee?
No, we haven't done that, although that's in discussion.
I mean, that would make sense. Other places do that.
Yes, we're aware of that, Commissioner, but right now that's not what we do. We hire employees for that, but that's under consideration.
I mean, there's an active program to get individuals apprenticeships, and then from apprenticeships to journeymen and journeywoman opportunities. If we were hiring through that process, that would open up more opportunities for individuals to get into those trades too. So I would suggest that you look at that more seriously.
Noted.
Okay. Any other questions?
And then I would just ask as a general question, are you comfortable with the level of staffing, whether it be permanent part-time and or seasonals, to handle the demands of the park?
We could always use more permanent employees, Bill, for sure, especially on the maintenance one level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get in a long discussion with today, but I mean, I guess we could even in the committee discuss the level of perms, part-time perms, and the number of seasonals you have this year to make sure that they're going to be enough to address, especially the seasons, like literally starting like now, when the number of people that are in the parks is substantially bigger than much of the rest of the year. I'll defer that to the committee.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Bob Basleys. Can you hear me? It's Bob Basleys.
What's up, Commissioner?
How are you? So, with respect to what Commissioner O'Day was just saying, when it comes to, we tend to send seasonals to you in the summer. We find some really good employees, and then we have to let them go. Can we just take a look at the possibility of being able to keep some of these other people on? Some of the parks are big. I never knew when I was going to become a commissioner how much the park would take up of my time. But they're big parks, they're beautiful parks, and you guys do a phenomenal job. I just want you to be able to have the correct manpower and equipment at the park, so that way you're not caught short. The summer months, that's why we use the seasonals. But there are some seasonals that I'm having conversations with everybody. They do really well, and then we'd have to cut them loose. So maybe there's a way that we could start talking about that now for the future, so that way it gives you a little extra permanency when it comes to your employees.
In complete agreement with you, Commissioner. All for it.
Yeah, and Jonathan, what I would think is you're always going to need a level of seasonals, right? And then some seasonals, by their nature, of people that actually have other full-time jobs. So they'll work 10-hour shifts on the weekends. They'll work evenings. But it would be good to kind of look at how do you take whatever, if there's 50 seasonals, and kind of do this as they come in. How many of them are seasonals and they're happy to be seasonals? It's a second job, it's a second income. And then how many individuals literally like see this as a pathway to becoming ultimately a permanent employee of the county, and that we kind of analyze that, look at costs of that, and what's the right makeup of that? How many people do you lose that are permanent on a regular basis? Obviously, permanents require medical benefits, so that's an additional cost. They get holidays and things like that. But I think it would be good as you get a pool of seasonals every year, identifying who's happy to be a seasonal. Yeah, I work a job, but I love working from whatever, August, from April to October or May to November. It's great. I make extra money. I don't mind working 10 or 12 hours on Saturday and Sunday and making up the other hours during the week. It would just be good to see that, because you're right. Every year there are people that don't, the time runs out. Your old path used to be permanent part-time, right? And then full-time. And that's
Right.
difficult. That's difficult because if I need a full-time job, permanent part-time doesn't really help me, right?
Correct.
So I just think it's better, that if this is a better way to analyze the pool, the workforce pool, to determine who makes sense to be different categories, and if at the end of the day you're only going to be able to fill 8 full-time permanents and there's 20 people as seasonals, kind of almost letting them know, like, look, there's only going to be 8 people that are going to make it to the next, to the next level. So.
I agree. All right, we'll look into it, Commissioner.
Okay, Abe. Okay. All right, any other questions for Parks? All right, thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Aging and Veterans Affairs?
Commissioners, Aging and Veteran Affairs is in Book 2, Section 10, page 166.
What do we have up for that? Joanne or Lisa, who's up? Hello? Oh, hold on, the prosecutor's hand is up. Go ahead, prosecutor.
Oh, you got to see now.
I'm on Zoom. I can't call them.
I just wasn't sure if you could hear or see us. I just want to let you know I'm here. It did not.
Okay, we'll do you next then.
Take your
Go ahead,
Just-
Lisa. Go ahead, Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Chairman, please make sure that they say their name for the reporter. Shari is remotely taking notes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think they've been doing it. They've been saying who's on. Go ahead. Who's on for the Office of Aging?
It's Lisa Presco, Joanne Northgrave, and Brian Poffel.
Okay, go ahead, Lee.
We have one opening for a Trans End for a driver and a part-time position available for veterans. You've received all of our accomplishments and goals, and I think we're doing a great job. Any questions?
I have one question.
Sure.
Do we have enough money for the senior boat rides? I mean,
We
that's
do.
a big popular thing.
We do.
Okay, good.
They're all planned and they're all ready to go. So we
Okay,
do.
great.
Yes,
All right, good.
yes.
But we inevitably don't have enough, right? We inevitably have people that can't go on them. So I don't know how we address that, right? That's not necessarily your problem, but the reality is we will inevitably in the month of June have people tell us that this boat or that boat's booked, and I don't even know what the process is. I've kind of taken myself out of being that ingrained in it just because you wind up disappointing too many people.
Commissioner, this is Joanne Northgrave. I ran the boat ride for the last 3 years. There hasn't been a single person that we've turned down. Anybody who's asked for extra tickets, we've given them to them. Any additional groups that have come into the fold, we've given them tickets. We've extended numbers for every single year. There isn't one person that called us that asked to go on a boat ride that didn't go on a boat ride.
This is recorded, right?
Yes.
That's great. Abe, remind me if I call you, if you tell me we don't have money or the boats are full. I'm gonna go directly to Joanne first. And if I get any no's, I'm going to you and we'll just replay this. That's great to know, because I'm not going to dispute it. But I'm going to tell you, expect to get a lot of calls from me during the month of June.
Just recognize, Commissioner, that the boat rides are already in process. So if you have somebody that needs tickets, they need to call us immediately so that we can fit them on a boat ride.
I'll have 450 seniors at a movie theater on Monday, and I'll find out if any of those individuals have yet to be booked on a boat ride and are interested. So expect a call from me next Tuesday or Wednesday with a list of names and phone numbers.
Joanne, this is Bob Basilis, Commissioner Basilis. With regards to the boat rides, can you notify us when the tickets are coming to the municipalities, and let us know how many people are booked so that we have an idea?
North Bergen requested 204 tickets this year.
Okay.
And they will be receiving wristbands. We have not got the wristbands yet. We do have a date though, and I will find it and get it to you. But they have been notified, North Bergen especially. They've been on top of it. Whoever the woman is that's in your office on aging has been calling us constantly.
Thank you.
I just had a couple of questions. In looking over the accomplishments, it says implemented a food storage space within the building for seniors, veterans, and disabled persons that need food on off weeks of food distribution. Which building is that in?
Bergen?
830 Bergen Avenue?
Yes.
Where in the building is it?
It's on 3A. It's there's like a big storage closet that we use that we put shelving in. And we hold that because we get numerous calls throughout the week where seniors, veterans, and residents just need food to be delivered to them. And if it's an off week of the food distribution, now we have the capability to give them enough food to last them until the next food distribution.
And then Lisa, who would I refer someone that has that need to?
Myself and Bashira and Gloria Walker. Gloria Walker and Bashira Curry run the food distribution for our department.
All right, why don't you just get everybody, but get me Gloria. I don't want to inundate you. So why don't you just get me Gloria Walker's contact information?
Okay.
And then I'm fascinated with this AI robot.
Yes.
Can we get like a demonstration of it?
Yes, we did give a demonstration to Abe about a month ago, so we can definitely do another one with Brian and
maybe Anthony.
Sure.
And I mean you have you got 20. I'm just curious also, in not for now, but when you do the presentation, how much do they cost? Like it sounds like almost an interesting program from the corporate and philanthropic world to maybe get money from, right? Like it's kind of something that would seem.
Because we only received 20 of them, so they were about $1,000. Yeah, per robot.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the demonstration, and then I mean, it seems like the kind of thing that you could go to certain foundations and even certain like banks and other entities and say, hey, look, we have 50 more seniors that we need these for, but we don't have the money, and sponsor. It's like almost sponsoring a kid for summer camp. You're sponsoring a robot for a senior that really needs it, or a disabled individual that really needs it. So I thought that was a pretty cool. And then my other there's a lot of stuff you guys did. I give you a lot of kudos on it, especially on the veteran stuff. But Abe, I don't know, maybe this is more a question for the administration to figure out. So there's within under aging and veterans, there's a lot of issues related to mental health. Then when I get to Doris's department, there's a lot of issues related also with mental health. And then obviously we have the prosecutor today, and we've got Frank Mazza today. And I'm just trying to figure out how we make sure within all of those areas that deal with different aspects of mental health, who should be the one. There should be kind of one person. I don't want to call him the ombudsman, but kind of coordinating all those different services, because there's a lot of them, right? And I expect that they'll continue to be more. And once there's a mental health court, there'll be more. And some of it's frank, but obviously in looking at aging and veteran services, if an individual has mental health issues, they happen to be a veteran that may come into the court system. How do we get, who are we going to have that's going to coordinate all the different aspects as it relates to mental health services?
That to me should be Doris. There's a mental health coordinator, and we just need to sit down. We just need to sit down and
yeah, I mean, is she doing that, right? Look, so if there are veterans, how is she coordinating with this department to do that? And obviously, we still contract with ACT now, right?
yes.
So isn't that under this department, not Doris?
No, that's Doris.
Why would that be under Doris since this is aging?
The act now. I thought she funded that.
That's under us.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Do you
Keep in mind that at one time it was. Remember, we separated the departments, so sometimes I forget who went where. Okay. So.
understood?
I just want to make sure that there's good coordination, whoever that person is from either aging and or Doris's department, they're there, that there's a person that is coordinating, so we don't find out that, hey, there was a veteran, got into an issue with the criminal justice system and whatever, they got sent A. And meanwhile, there's a program under Aging and Veterans Affairs that would have plugged them in quickly and clearly to the program they have, and then quickly and clearly into the VA, right? Again, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it today, but I think it's a very, very critical, important issue, and proper coordination, I think is very important to make it successful.
Can I just say one thing, Commissioner O'Day? The veterans that come into our system, we have a direct link to the VA. I think probably in the 12 years that I've been in this office, I have relied on Robin James for 2 or 3 instances out of those 12 years where I couldn't find or the VA wasn't answering me immediately and I needed an immediate answer. But for the most part, the veterans don't go through anything other than the VA because the VA is on top of their mental health. There are ways that they can directly get somebody at the VA to give them an immediate what is it?
Response.
Yeah, they can get an immediate response and be seen immediately. So we really, as far as veterans is concerned, I really don't have to rely on them because we do have everything in place to take care of them.
And I guess my point on that is currently there are individuals that are veterans that interact with the criminal justice system, right? And are we currently properly utilizing your services to make sure that upon their initial interaction with the criminal justice system, that we get them to you to get them over to the VA?
Yes, we have an advocate from the VA that works with our jail actually, and he is in almost every jail that's in our area, making sure that the veterans are identified and go through the proper channels.
Yeah.
Uriah, you had your hand up. Uriah?
Yes, that was Lisa talking.
Yes. And that was Joanne Northgrave.
Oh, okay, Joanne, Lisa, maybe anyone could help me. Talking about senior citizen and the boat ride, which is every year it's an ordeal. It's a challenging. How do we do that? Like we send every city the tickets, they ask you for how many senior citizens they have, or you target the senior citizen buildings, how that works?
You give, if I can answer that, Uriah, I know how I do. It's probably the simplest way. Get 2 of your staffers. You pick a location central to different areas of town, have them come with ID so that really are seniors and that they do live in your jurisdiction. And they come, and if those that can't, for example, Fox Hill Senior Building in Hoboken, then we make a night, and my staff goes there with the tickets. We number the tickets, and then we have a master list. And it's worked out well because Joanne has made it so smooth, and Lisa, the last couple of years. That's my way of doing it. I don't know if that works for you, but
Yeah, that's what I want to, I don't want to give them more headache that they have already, because I know how it is dealing with senior citizens. Remember, this is, they are really, really, really dear to me because I was raised by seniors, my grandparents. That's what I want to talk to them, to Lisa and Joanne, the best way to kind of reach out to them, because some of them, they came to me last year and they say, I did not receive anything. I didn't hear anything. I didn't know anything. And I feel bad for them because, if we don't do it for them, who are we going to do it for? So that's what I want you guys to tell me, Lisa or Joanne, how is the best way. But maybe Chairman Romano maybe has a point that he has a system already doing it.
Can I ask a question also, Bob Basilis?
well, Bobby, just let them answer. Uriah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
By
Joanne.
the way, my name is Uriah Ponte-Lipsky for whoever is writing their name.
Go ahead, Lisa or Joanne. You want to answer Uriah?
I'm just going to give you a very basic of how this was done for the last 20 years that they've been doing this. For every municipality except for Jersey City, we gave the tickets to the Office on Aging in that city to give those tickets out. So the seniors that aren't getting on the boat rides, they aren't contacting us.
Correct.
They have to go through, those 11 municipalities have to go through their Office on Aging, because the Office on Aging is the one that is making sure that they are residents of Hudson County, making sure that they're age appropriate, making sure that they can make that walk. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that walk, but it's a very long walk. And the hotter it gets, the worse it gets. So that's the 11. For Jersey City, it is different because Jersey City refused to take the responsibility of handing out those tickets. So they threw it back at us. So we have, yes. So we have all of the senior buildings, the senior clubs. That has been in the past how we give tickets. You have to belong to a senior building or belong to a senior club. And we have, I believe last year, over 25 that we have given tickets to. There are presently 4 boat rides with close to 400 people on each of those boat rides that come from various groups in Jersey City. And I am going to add that it's not an easy feat. But we do it, and they are happy. We group the people that need to be grouped together. We get their transportation to and from. And there have been probably 6 in the last 2 years of people that call the office and say, well, I don't really belong to a group. And we've accommodated them as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to call me. If you do not have my cell number, please make sure I can give it to you now. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather not publicize it over this, but yeah, I'll do it. 201, who cares? 201.
Joanne, please don't do that. This is
okay, don't do that. Never mind.
This is being live streamed.
Joanne,
No worries.
Joanne,
Okay.
just send Commissioner Ponte-Lipsky an
Send it to
email
all
with
of
your
us.
information. That's all.
Email it to me because Joanne, I've had the OLM seniors recently complain to me that many of them were not able to go on the boat ride last year. So,
Commissioner,
Joanne, I pledge to you, Joanne, that I'm going to try to help you because I love senior citizen.
Good, thank you. And Commissioner O'Day, I've talked to Pressy about 14 times since January and assured her that she was getting those tickets. And I honestly don't understand what her problem is because she's getting those tickets. And Commissioner, North Bergen's July 1st. North Bergen's bull ride is July 1st.
So Joanne, I want to ask you, I'm also Sea Caucus, as is
Sea Caucus. Okay, we'll find Sea Caucus. I think Commissioner Rodriguez has a question as well.
No, I don't know. I went out of sight, but I do have a question thinking about the boat rides. We're very well prepared in West New York. And how many do we have so far? How many would you say we have so far?
I know that West New York is the first day. I believe it is June 30th.
June 30th. And how
And
many?
they requested 250 tickets.
Okay, and I'm sure they're filled. All right. Yeah, we never have a problem. We start getting calls, I guess, since January.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's well prepared. Thank you very much, Joanne. Thank you.
And just one more thing that I'm going to say about the boat rides, and we can end this. We have in the past had people that have asked for many tickets and then didn't show up that day, and the county has to pay for those meals. So that is what we do from one year to the next. If Group A asks for 200 tickets and this year only 150 people show up, next year we started 150. And when they need more tickets, we give it to them. But we are trying to be as cost conscious as possible. And also, we had problems with people not being from Hudson County. We have basically stopped that, which is a great thing. But have any questions, you give me a call.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your work.
Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Unmute.
Anthony, you're
Chairman,
muted.
you're muted.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you,
I-
Joanne. I'll call you
I-
after the meeting so we straighten that out. Joe?
Absolutely.
Okay, and also ask Bashir, I want to follow up on that food thing for Hoboken. What we're
Yep, I
discussing.
got it. I got it.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay, next group, prosecutor.
Commissioners, prosecutors in book 1, section 4, page 124.
Hey, go ahead, Madam Prosecutor.
Good afternoon, folks. Joy doesn't have this, I have a brief introductory remarks that I have to make just because the office has been doing some really wonderful things. It's important for you to know. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to address the board. I'd like to thank the county administration, County Executive Craig Guy, County Administrator Abe Anton, as well as the Board of Commissioners for supporting the needs of our office over the past year. I'm joined here today by Anna Pereira, our Director of Law and Business Operations, who worked alongside John Inagaki and Dorothy Petrikowski to prepare this budget request. Also with me is Executive Assistant Prosecutor Adam Salzer. As I've done in past years, I just want to give you a brief overview of what's been accomplished by this office since we last met. Most noteworthy, I'm happy to report that the Hudson County DNA Laboratory received full accreditation in 2024 and has been operational for the past 7 months. This means our office is now equipped to forensically examine items of evidentiary value collected at the scenes of major crimes, including sexual assaults, homicides, non-fatal shootings, and aggravated assaults. Prior to having this facility, our office, along with our municipal law enforcement partners, relied on overwhelmed state-operated laboratories. More often than not, we waited months to receive reports that were critical for time-sensitive investigations. Now, our team of highly skilled forensic experts examine those items in-house in the county with a much quicker turnaround time. By way of example, we saw an immediate benefit from our investment earlier this year when our Special Victims Unit investigated a home invasion and sexual assault in Jersey City. Within 4 days, the DNA laboratory produced a report that assisted our investigative staff with charging and arresting the defendant suspected of committing this heinous crime. The DNA laboratory has also assisted the Regional Medical Examiner's Office in positively identifying deceased individuals. DNA is one of the strongest forms of evidence, and now we're able to identify and or exonerate suspects or persons of interest at a much faster rate. We are only the second prosecutor's office in the state to have these services, and we now serve as the primary DNA laboratory for all of our municipal law enforcement partners in the county. For the second year in a row, our homicide unit closed out 2024 with a 100% solve rate, meaning individuals that were charged and or arrested in connection with each of the 15 murders our office investigated last year. The national average in this area is 50%. These local trends are a testament to the office's commitment to seeking justice on behalf of victims and their families. It also demonstrates the importance of collaborative policing and highlights the success of programs like the Violent Crime Initiative, a federal program that the HCPO has participated in since 2018 to combat violence in and around Jersey City. I think it's fair to say that all of us here today share one thing in common, and that is making Hudson County streets safer for pedestrians, motorists, and bicyclists. Our regional collision investigation unit responds to almost all collisions involving serious injury or death, whether it's to lead or assist our municipal partners in complex investigations. Members of this unit work closely with the county's Vision Zero team to identify feasible solutions that will bring us closer to achieving our goal of eliminating traffic-related deaths in our community. Our office also has a security planning and counterterrorism unit which works closely with federal, state, and local officials to identify any existing public safety risks and ensure law enforcement is properly trained to respond in times of crisis and disaster. This team includes a critical infrastructure coordinator who provides on-site assessments for houses of worship in Hudson County and assists in developing appropriate safety plans. In 2024, over $1.5 million in state and federal grants were awarded to local houses of worship to implement stronger security plans. Of the 13 grants that were awarded, 9 were directly assisted by the Hudson County Critical Infrastructure Coordinator, and I will thank Trish Guzmano for all her work on that. When I sat before this board last year, I expressed that the HCPO would fully support the implementation of a mental health court in Hudson County. By working collaboratively, I'm pleased to say that we as a county have taken steps to see this come to fruition. The reality is that law enforcement officers on a regular basis interact with individuals who are experiencing a mental health crisis or struggling with substance use disorders. Our office continues to identify ways to better serve the most vulnerable residents of our community. I'm going to thank Executive Assistant Prosecutor Adam Salzer and Executive Assistant Prosecutor Keith Travers for all their work on it. In 2023, the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office joined the New Jersey Attorney General's Arrive Together program, which pairs law enforcement officers with mental health professionals when responding to crisis calls. In 2024, the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office became one of the first departments in the state to implement the Arrive Together Critical Incident Module. As part of a directive from the Office of the Attorney General, the Hudson Regional SWAT team, along with mental health professionals from Jersey City Medical Center, are requested to respond to all calls involving barricaded individuals. Last year, Hudson County Regional SWAT responded to 12 calls for individuals experiencing a mental health crisis, and this year alone, we've already responded to 7 such calls. All responses resulted in safe conclusion both for the individual and law enforcement officers. I cannot emphasize enough how valuable implementing this program is for our community. Time and time again, members of SWAT, with the assistance of on-site mental health professionals, have worked collaboratively to not only de-escalate the situation, but also ensure that the individuals in crises are connected with appropriate resources and services. In our office, we recognize that having a mental health or substance use disorder alone is not a crime. We host crisis intervention training for local law enforcement officers 3 times a year, and every seat in the classroom is filled. We facilitate resiliency officer training courses so every law enforcement officer in the county has a colleague they can turn to when they themselves need support. Over the past year, our office has worked diligently to develop a countywide Blue Envelope program to create safer and positive interactions between individuals with autism and law enforcement. These envelopes will be, and I'm saying these envelopes, I have them right here, they're blue envelopes. These envelopes will be made available to all of our municipal partners to share with their communities. In the coming weeks, we'll be hosting a training on the best practices for communicating with individuals who have different needs. Thanks to the financial support of the Hudson County Chiefs of Police Association, representatives for every municipal department are invited to attend this training. I'm going to thank Sergeant Megan Conlon for all her work on that. The opioid epidemic continues nationwide. For the first time in a decade, we're finally seeing a decline of fatal overdoses statewide. This did not happen by chance. It is the result of people across all sectors coming together to educate the public about the dangers of opioids and promote prevention programs. We're training our law enforcement to recognize substance use disorders. In fact, 5 of our detectives will be honored this weekend for providing life-saving treatment to an individual who experienced a near fatal overdose while visiting the Hudson County Administration Building. Congratulations to those 5 detectives. Those accomplishments are a testament of the work performed by each employee of our office, from detectives to assistant prosecutors to support staff. No budget comes without asks, but I assure you that we have diligently prepared this request with the best interest of Hudson County residents in mind. I thank you again, genuinely thank you for your continued support, and I welcome any questions.
Cameron? Anthony?
Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
Madam Prosecutor, just a couple of things. So again, I'm very happy with the progress with mental health court. I know we put the application in for the state funding. I appreciate your office stepping up and the administration stepping up to make sure that got done. What's our timeline? Like when can we have the court in place? I've had conversations with variety of individuals, up to including the court system, where it would seem that the pieces exist to do the court today. The grant, obviously, I think provides the money to be able to take it to the level we'd like it to see. So what needs to be done to actually get a court established?
So the next step, Commissioner, is hopefully receiving the grant. We anticipate we will know by July. We submitted the grant in a timely fashion. We'll get the grant, God willing, we'll get the grant in July. And then after that, we could start moving forward. We have the cooperation of the county. We have the cooperation of the public defender's office. We have the cooperation of the judiciary. It's just a matter of getting it moving. And we've also identified a courtroom, a judge, and assistant prosecutors who could do the work. We're ready to go.
Okay. So, I guess you wait to see if you get the grant. If the grant is received, obviously that creates one track, because you'll have a lot of additional dollars. But if for some reason we don't get the grant, and I think, because based on my information, we have an excellent chance to get the dollars, but if for some reason we don't, then we can have a kind of a plan B to still get the mental health court in place. Is that fair to say?
I think it's fair to say. I think it's fair to say also that we're very positive about receiving some grant monies. So I don't necessarily think we need to move into a plan B unless we're wrong. I think we can anticipate some dollars to help us with this.
No, I agree. Look, when I found out about the grant, as you know, and Adam knows, I was pretty adamant that we could get it done, and I commend you for getting it done, because I think it's a big boost to get that done. Another question I have is just related to, and obviously, and I appreciate your assistance yesterday. I was able to get that individual a week to now have to find them an attorney, but I've just seen a growing concern, just from my office, in having constituents and individuals that find themselves in situations related to sexual violence. And I know it's a touchy situation often, because those individuals often even recant complaints that they file. And I'm becoming more and more educated in that area. But I'm sensitive to the fact that, and I'm not sure that this is your purview, though I think your office, as well as local police departments, have to be a point of referral and assistance, is that those individuals that file, even if they ultimately recant, should be proactively reached out to by agencies and entities to offer them the assistance, to be able to speak up. So I'm not necessarily asking you to answer the question, just something to think about. Is there a better way or better role that your department can play in effectuating that? Because I think far too often, and we know of the one tragedy that occurred last year in the Jersey City Heights, where individuals, they didn't fall through the cracks, and often they've got to be proactively reached out to on an ongoing basis until they're ready to really, go beyond getting past the emergency of today and realizing the change that has to be made in order to give them safety.
So just a couple of thoughts, Commissioner. First, we do investigate quite a large number of alleged sexual assault, sexual violence in the county. We have a really large, really strong team doing those investigations. We always start with the premise that we believe the victim. Absolutely the case in every single investigation that we do. In some cases, the municipality might take that investigation. In other cases, we might take it. It's a protocol that we need to follow, and we need that protocol because it could very well overwhelm one office if one office were to take all of them. It just can't work that way. It has to be the more serious crimes are the ones that we take, other crimes are the ones that they take. I'll just remind you, I think you know this, I did serve as a family court judge for about 4 years sitting in domestic violence. I'm very sensitive to it. It is truly something to be concerned about here in Jersey City, here throughout the county and throughout the state. There are many different reasons why an individual might recant what they had previously said. I don't necessarily want to go into them. I just will say that we honor whatever it is that a victim says to us. When a victim is in need of resources, we do provide those resources. We do provide support, whether it be through the investigators or it be through our victim witness office. We do provide that support to the extent that we're able to. Many times they welcome the support, other times they don't want it, they don't need it. It's truly up to them. We always make it available for them.
No, I understand that. I guess was thinking out loud over just the fact that many of those individuals who tell you they don't need it, they really do need it, right? And it's just a matter of how do we have someone kind of just stay in touch with it. And I'm not suggesting it's your office. It's probably more a Sarah's Daughter type organization, but that they're always made aware of individuals that come into the system, so they can do that outreach. And then obviously, how do they kind of stay on top of it? I've just recently dealt with a handful of individuals, so I've gotten to kind of understand the in-depth of, control and manipulation and how difficult it is for victims often to be able to even get the help that they need, and the fear that they deal with, having nothing to do with law enforcement, just having to just do with the situation that they've found themselves in. So, but I appreciate that, and maybe we could just do at some point a further conversation. My last question, because you talked a lot about training and the issues with mental health, have we really incorporated as those components training related to individuals on the spectrum with autism? Because I've gotten a couple of complaints related to local law enforcement, not related to your office or any of your investigators or staff, about local law enforcement not really knowing or understanding when they encounter an individual who's on the spectrum of autism, and the need for a certain training that's kind of more geared or focused on a better understanding of those situations.
That is something that we've touched upon. That is the whole purpose of this, and I'm holding it up, the Blue Envelope program, so that law enforcement really can understand individuals with autism and the various degrees of people on the spectrum. The training has been incorporated into some of it, but it will be more so incorporated into it will be incorporated when we start doing the training for the Blue Envelope.
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Al.
Madam Prosecutor, I'm looking at page 130 in the book, detail book. What you have 9 positions for prosecutor's agent. It looks like the average salary about $42,000 a year. What's the function of a prosecutor's agent?
So what we generally do is we won't necessarily hire individuals immediately as detectives. That's not a hard and fast rule, but generally we try not to do that. What we do try to do is hire individuals who might be interested in going into law enforcement, might be interested in becoming a detective with this office, but we give them a chance to prove themselves, if you will, by becoming a prosecutor's agent. They work in the office, they work in the various different units in the office, and they're able to prove whether or not they are up to the task of being sent to the academy. As you know,
I understand. Thank you. I didn't,
sure.
the prosecutor agent phrase, just, I don't know. It's kind of a transitionary step of orientation into your office. Okay. The other thing is, who handles your grants? Who looks out for the grants and scopes the grants?
We have an individual in the office who handles the grants. Her name is Patricia,
Silent.
Oh, Seiler, yes. Patricia Seiler. She's the one that really administers them, along with Anna. Anna's very helpful in that regard as well.
Do you have an approximate number of how much your office has brought in grants that would have offset expenses for the county?
Yeah, it would be on the first page, which is page 127.
Okay.
It's about 600,000, Commissioner.
600, about approximately 600,000?
Thereabouts.
Okay. And how many cases came through your office that you processed in one form or another last year?
I think I'm going to have to get back to you with that.
All right.
A number.
I'm just curious to see the volume. I know you're a busy office. I just wanted to.
I will say this, now that you brought it up, Commissioner, I kind of would like to know. Adam's already taken the note. We're going to find out and let you know because I'm curious.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Saying about 7,000. We'll try to get you a good number.
I think I'm going to have to play that number.
Okay, anybody questions?
Yeah.
Matt, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I have one question.
Jerry, go ahead, buddy.
Yes. Hey, Madam Prosecutor.
Hi.
I'm just curious. Yes, I'm just curious on the DNA lab. That's one of the things that I was a strong proponent when I first got onto the board. How's that working out in terms of solving crimes? And do we get any inquiries from other counties to research their DNA, because everybody don't have DNA labs? So do you have enough for your DNA lab, first of all? And do we get any other inquiries from other towns to use our facility?
So Commissioner, thank you for your interest, and you have been a very strong proponent, and I thank you for that. This has been, it's a game changer for Hudson County for us to have this. As I mentioned in my remarks, in 4 days, we were able to identify someone who we believe committed a sexual assault and a home invasion in Hudson County. That would have taken months had we had to send it down to the state previously. We have more than enough. Commissioner, right now we're in the process of following some Attorney General directive that everyone has received about doing some cases that have been in backlog. It's a bit of a long story, but we're finishing that backlog as everyone in the state has to do, and we've got plenty to keep ourselves busy. I have said to other counties, if they have a case, a very emergent case, a very serious case, we would be happy to take it. We've not yet had anyone come to us. We will absolutely take a case of particular violence, emergent of any kind, but as of this moment, no one has taken us up on that offer, and fortunately they haven't needed it. However, down the road, as we've discussed in the past, I'm hoping once we're able to clear out what we need to do at the DNA lab, I'm hoping to enter into maybe a shared services agreement with other counties to see if we can offset some of our costs with helping them perform their DNA work.
But we certainly have no shortage.
Yes.
There's no shortage of work at the DNA lab.
Thank you.
Okay, Jerry? Madam Prosecutor, just.
Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead, Bobby.
Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? Good afternoon. So I always try to look at the staffing. I know historically it's been tough to staff in the past. And I had a question with regards to Assistant Prosecutor Chief. How many of the people, since you put the budget in, have, like you had 41 vacant positions. How many positions now would you think are considered vacant?
As you well know, Commissioner, it is a moving target. It really is. So on paper, it says 41. That's not really an accurate number. Right now, assistant prosecutors, full complement would be 69. I have 2 vacancies and I have two real vacancies, but we have more resumes than we do vacancies. So I trust that we will be able to be at full complement. Certainly, I would say within the next couple months. As far as investigators, detectives, we have 2 vacancies, but I'm sending 2 individuals, 2 of those agents that Commissioner Cifelli was asking about. We're sending 2 of those agents to the police academy in June, so that means I will not have any vacancies. And as far as support staff, I'm going to give you the number of about 17. Is that right?
And I'm only, Madam Prosecutor, I'm only asking that question because it seems in all 3 of our law enforcement branches, we seem to see vacancies, and I'm just trying to figure out. I think as a board, we've been trying to figure out how to fill those vacancies, so that way you're not understaffed, any of you.
So this is the first time. The great news is this is the first time in a few years that we can say we will be at full complement. I don't know what changed this year. We got a lot of resumes. We got a lot of really good resumes. We've conducted a lot of interviews, and it really has been very, very successful. I would imagine that maybe by the end of June or July, we should be at full complement as far as the assistant prosecutors and the detectives.
Glad to hear that. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Prosecutor, just as a note, Adam has stepped into Gene's shoes and doing a fine job keeping the board up to date on issues that we need to be aware of.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go next to planning and business opportunity.
Commissioners, Planning and Business Opportunity, Book 2, Section 12, starting on page 210.
Who's up? Hello, anybody up from planning?
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yes, now we hear you.
Okay, great. Good afternoon. I'm Director Sharonda Walker. I'm here with Deputy Director Francesca Giarantana. Thank you for the opportunity to present the Department of Planning and Business Opportunities the budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Over the past year, our department has made significant strides across all divisions. We've successfully secured $2.5 million in external grant funding to support projects ranging from the Clean Hudson Environmental Justice Initiative to major transportation studies and open space improvements. As you know, this is the 20th year for open space. Over that time period, the county has appropriated over $112 million, $11.5 million in 2025 alone. We also had the completion and the adoption of our Vision Zero action plan. It marks a major milestone in our commitment to public safety and active transportation. Our Office of Data Analytics and our Office of Digital Information have expanded modern data tools and GIS services to departments countywide, enhancing service delivery, transparency, and public engagement. One very special project I want to talk about through the Office of Digital Information is that we partnered with the Prosecutor's Office on a leads application for the Hudson County Child Abduction Response Team. It results in an application that in an investigation for a child abduction, these leads can be vetted by law enforcement officers, tracked, status, and mapped in real time. We hope that we never have to use the application, but should an abduction occur, we be able to respond swiftly. The Office of Business Opportunity has concluded the county's disparity study, and we look forward to meeting with you on June 9th to discuss those results. As we look ahead, our focus is continuing these transformative initiatives, expanding access to county resources, building internal capacity, and being able to meet the evolving needs of our residents and our stakeholders. Currently, we have no vacancies, we have no new positions, and we have no overtime in the department. We provided you with a detailed memo detailing our accomplishments and our goals. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Any questions, commissioners?
Are there any programs that you guys administer that are ARP funded?
No.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody, any commissioners? Okay,
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, commissioners.
all right, we'll do, we got next, we got the register in.
Commissioners, county register is located in book 1, section 4, page 116.
What do we have on?
Here for the register.
Hello, who do we got on register?
Got myself and Nicole Federer.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
So good afternoon, everybody. Just to bring you up some updates, we completed a project that alert customers on possible fraudulent recordings of their property. We have completed loading all recordable documents and continue to work on projects to load additional older records online to be available to the public. A revenue generating goal for 2025 is to set payments online for documents that the public may want a copy of. And also is we have 4 clerk vacancies. We're looking to fill 2 right away, and 1 recorder's manager. We're down 5 employees because their employees leave or retire. And due to the ongoing lawsuit and the state ordinance, we need to be up to par in the office with the at least with the clerks. And if you have any additional questions.
Jeff, Al Cifelli, you mentioned about the ability that you're trying to get online a system where customers could contact your office and get copies of records that you have on file. Would that be like certified records? So if somebody needed a certified copy of his or her deed, they could get a certified copy online from you for a fee. Is that what that program's about? Because
Yes.
right now we can search those, but we get unofficial records, and they're branded as such, unofficial. They're helpful, but sometimes for different processes you need certified copies. So would this program allow us to access your office and for a fee get a certified copy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And what's the turnaround time right now? I know a few years ago, I guess that's the lawsuit you referenced a few years ago. I guess a group of title insurance companies maybe got together and filed a lawsuit against either your office or several offices, recording offices for the I guess the delay in getting things recorded. Is that the lawsuit you're referring to?
Yes. So right now we're in between 1 to 4 days. That's why we're stressing at least to get the 2 clerks to make sure we stay within the 1 to 4 days.
You're doing a good job then. You're getting up to speed. Thank you.
It ain't me, it's the staff, and we have
I know it wasn't you, Jeff, because you weren't there with us. I know that.
We have a great staff, and we have a great
You
deputy
guys are
registrar
I practice.
and special deputy.
You guys are very responsive. So thank you.
Okay, any questions for Jeff?
Carrie that
Go
had her
ahead.
hand.
Go ahead, Bill.
No, Carrie that had her hand.
Oh, go ahead, Carrie.
You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted, Carrie.
You're still muted.
Carrie, you're still muted. Hit the button.
Go to the bottom and unmute.
Unmute. Yes, now you got it.
Side of my face, sorry. Yeah, question to you about the registry. What kind of ID would you need to provide those records through an email? Because to avoid fraud, to avoid
She did send something to start at 2:00.
Whoa! Somebody's
in there.
Out of bounds.
Am I? Do you hear me? No.
Yes.
We can hear
Yes.
you, Carrie. So your question was, what
My
kind of
question is, how could you deliver through an email an official document to a person who's requesting it? What kind of ID would you need to properly send this out? Because all kinds of people can ask for all kinds of documents, and how would you know who to give it to?
It's just, it's just a matter of public record. But at the end of the day, when you do inquiries online, we don't know. That's why a lot of times, if we have any questions, then we can refer the person to come in to see us publicly.
That makes me nervous.
Me too.
So
Jeff, Harry Dad,
sent you information about a technology that's been used in other parts of the country. Where are you at with looking into that as an option?
I'm gonna let Nicole, because we've been back and forth with this company. We had several meetings with this company even before you sent the inquiry. So we're working on a process that with this company to see how can it be very useful to us.
I mean, I would be interested in them maybe coming to the committee.
Because my concern is specifically seniors. They want to transfer property to so-and-so within the family or to a specific person, but there is a lot of not nice people that don't feel for the senior and would like to take advantage of this way to do this, gain access to a property. That is really concerning.
So in regards to that, we do have a system set up, which is called RNS. And I've actually assisted many individuals, no matter the age, on how to access it and how to input their information so that they can get these notifications if and when a deed is being recorded. Unfortunately, it is just a notification. They would then have to take it up with their local law enforcement to further take action.
All right, so I guess the concern would be on the end of the person who is requesting it, that they are the proper person to do whatever they want to do with that deed, not on your end, correct?
We just collect the information. We don't verify because we get it. We get the
Verification. Right, go ahead, I'm sorry.
We get documents via mail or electronically. Most of our information comes in electronically from various companies.
Right.
And also, we encourage all seniors to sign up for our senior alert. So if somebody's making an inquiry about their property, it would automatically notify them, and then they could take immediate action. Even if they came in and made a request, it's going to notify them also that a request was made on their own property.
Obviously, how does that work? How is that? How can that happen? Can we announce it to the seniors?
What we can do, we will send a handful of flyers to each of the commissioners, so you can get them out in your district. That's why we did Earth Day. We had them out going to Earth Day. If you have any community events going on in your towns, just let us know. We'll set our tent and we'll send our people out there to give the spread the information and also how they can sign up for the senior alert.
All right, can that be sent to my office, let's say, and I can actually propagate it through our senior buildings because I'm there all the time. Is that possible? Okay.
Yes.
I'll be in touch with you then. Thank you very much.
No
Hey,
problem.
Jeff, I had a question. A few people have asked me, how does the office become more digital friendly? Are we working on that?
I think we're close to being there. The only process is figuring out the online payment because there's fees and we have to collect these fees because the fees are based on how we, bring in our revenue for this office. So all we're working out now is basically setting up the online payment. Once the online payment is good to go, we'll be ready. We'll be up to speed. If they go to our website, we improved our website. So, and we're doing a lot of work in house to cut back on costs on having different vendors come in. So we're doing a lot of work in house, but the thing that's going to speed this office up when we get the online payment going.
Okay, Billy, you wanted to say something?
No, that was it. That was what I was asking him about earlier. I mean, I think Jeff, maybe if you could set up a meeting, maybe with contracts committee as it relates to that, because obviously Al's got background from the law side in dealing with your office and what might make it more effective, efficient, and bring in more revenues.
Speaking of revenues, though, one thing, Jeff, before we end, what is your projected 2025 revenue compared to what last year's revenue was from your office? Do you have a projection as to how much above or below last year?
Well, we're anticipating 10 million, and we have collected so far, being in the 5th month, going in the 6th month, 4,880,572.
You're kind of on
37 cents. So we're yeah.
And how much of that is part of that is the realty transfer fee?
I think so, yes.
Is that right? Because
the realty transfer fee.
Is that part of that 10 million estimated projection is realty transfer fee money?
No, Commissioner, that the number that the register gave you is the amount of money that the county gets to keep. But he collects a lot more. He collects a lot more, and that gets remitted to the state.
That's my point. The 10 million is our money, not what we contribute to the state.
No.
Gotcha.
Net number, not a gross number.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Jeff, is a program from the state perspective that some of the seniors is looking to take advantage of, the freeze day taxes. But some of them is having like some difficulties in filling out the application, different things like that. Do you have anybody on staff that could help with something like that in terms of them getting their application down to the state so they could stabilize their taxes?
Yeah, we don't deal with that. That may be something that comes out of the tax assessor office or something like that.
Okay.
We don't deal with that.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any other questions?
Carrie has her hand up.
Oh, go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie.
We do that through our municipality. You're talking about the anchor program?
Yeah, we do that too in Jersey.
Yeah, through our municipality. Who is in charge in your town for public service to these people? You know what I'm saying? There is an office or a person or 2 people assigned to seniors and to anyone that comes in, homeowners, to apply for the anchor program. We've had tons of people come in for that in our municipality.
And Jerry, I would reach out to
In touch
Denise
to-
Ridley on one part of your district and
Okay.
Gilmore on the other part, and maybe they can assist on getting that help.
All right, all right, thanks.
Some events where they do that, Jerry, where they have people there to assist them physically.
Right. Yes.
So I'll connect you with some folks too.
All right, thank you.
That's all, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Jeff. Let's do roads and public property next.
Commissioners, roads and public property is located in Book 2, Section 8, starting on page 1.
Who we got on? Who's on? For the roads? Anybody on for roads?
Next.
All right, Denise, put your hand is up. Go ahead, Denise, unmute yourself. Denise, you're on mute.
Do you hear me?
Yep, now we got you.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Denise, just let the clerk know who's on so she can record it.
Sure. It's Denise Alessandro, Director of Roads and Public Property, and Ralph Sachs, Deputy Director of Roads and Public Property. We submitted our memo with a breakdown of some of our increases and really not much stuff in our vacancies. I wasn't sure if there was any questions you have in specifically off of the memo. You have any questions on any of the buildings or on any of my increases or decreases?
Billy?
We go over that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Regular basis in public resources. So I have.
Okay. Anybody
Okay.
else? Al, anybody? Bobby? Urida? Carrie? Okay. Fanny? All good. All right, no questions for Denise. Okay. We
Thank
go
you.
to, you're welcome. Family services and reintegration.
Commissioners, family services and reintegration is in Book 3, Section 15, page 1.
Okay, who's on board? Frankie? Hello? Frank, you're unmute yourself and ID, please, for the recorder.
Sorry, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Commissioners, this is Frank Mazza. I'm here with Susan McCurry and Robert Knapp. We sent along our goals and achievements. So just I will briefly go through what we've achieved over this year, but I first want to point out that this director's office was officially appointed in March. So this is our first 12 months that we are reporting on what we've done, where we've had oversight over the department for a 1-year period. So we've had a significant decrease in the Medicaid backlog, which the specific numbers on how many individual cases have been resolved through the backlog are part of our document. We are at 84% Medicaid processing timely, which means more than 8 out of every 10 Medicaid applications that we receive are processed within 30 days. The person gets the benefits. The issue that we are having on the Medicaid side relates to aged, blind, and disabled Medicaid, which is a difficult program to operate. We are looking to resolve that issue through staffing. We're examining where we are overstaffed and where we are understaffed, and we are going to sort of sort through our staff to make sure that we're going to address that issue. We're also working with the state. The state pays 65% of our staff salary, and they are providing us some guidance on how to sort of make sure that we are staffed appropriately. When it comes to SNAP or food stamps, we have 57,000 SNAP cases. When this director's office was appointed, there was about a 50% error rate. Right now, we are about a 7% error rate. There was a significant backlog. There is almost no backlog in the food stamp cases. All cases that are coming in are being processed timely. We are committed to outreach. We have the largest number of families in the state of New Jersey on welfare. We have about 1,900 families on TANF, which is temporary assistance for needy families. In comparison, we have a larger caseload than Essex County now. We are providing the most housing assistance in the state of New Jersey. The last state report showed that the county of Hudson had 416 people receiving housing benefits from welfare. The next largest county would be Passaic County with 202 folks receiving, and then Camden County with 173. So if the purpose of this department is to find those folks who are eligible for benefits, make sure they get the benefits and do it in a timely manner, over the last 12 months, this department has moved in the appropriate direction. And I appreciate the ability to speak about the department's performance, because there has been a lot of conversation about the department that hasn't focused on the performance. And I think this department should be proud of what it's done over the last 12 months, and the staff has done a great job here.
Okay, questions, Bill?
So first, I guess, Frank, have you now gone through the period of time where, I don't know how many thousands of individuals were taken off of Medicaid because the federal government decided last year to start to check their income again?
No, we are in that process. So I think outside of obviously the healthcare facility, the healthcare community, Commissioner, welfare was probably hit hardest by the pandemic. And you and I have had those conversations. So at the height of the pandemic, so before the pandemic, for example, we had about 41,000 SNAP cases. At the height of the pandemic, we had 66,500 SNAP cases. So that's a huge increase in the amount of cases. But welfare isn't just getting somebody on. There's also work getting the person off, where the staff actually has to confirm that the person's income is above the level that it should be. They have to close the case. So we are still in the process of unwinding as a result of the pandemic. Right now, we have 56,000 SNAP cases, 62,000 Medicaid cases, 57,000 of those cases, about 57 to 59,000 of those cases are not ABD cases. And we have 1,900 families receiving benefits. And also, we've had a significant increase in compliance with our employment and training programs. I mean, when we took over, it was in the single digits. Right now, it's 21%, which is leading the state.
Which is still pretty bad, though, right?
Well, compliance doesn't speak to employment, Commissioner. It doesn't speak to somebody getting a job. It speaks to somebody being enrolled in a program.
No, I agree. I'm saying overall, it's not this. We're the best, but there's just a lot. I mean, the programs just need to be rethought and retooled.
I think you and I have a very similar mind in that way.
100%. No, 100%. It's not a criticism. It's just an overall observation. Back to the Medicaid issue. So we spoke last year when I first became aware of the fact that individuals were not being properly proactively notified by the entity the state brought in to be advised that based on what their income is, they probably would no longer be able to renew Medicaid. And then as a result of it, we ran into a series of many individuals simply filing appeals, right? Encouraged sometimes, or just being told that, resulting in the timeline because of the state, I'll call it a screw up, having individuals not have any coverage while they waited, knowing that there was no way they could win the appeal, because if they made $35,000, they got no shot. Have we or are we in a position to better deal with that as it relates to individuals that have yet to go through that system?
As it relates to individuals that have cases that are being managed by the county, yes. And again, as you know, once an application is done through the state or recertification is done through the state, and it is not in the county's hands, we don't have any control over that case. That person is subject to that state vendor who handles Medicaid applications from every county, and I believe the vendor is even national. So that it becomes less of a personal thing and less of the client's ability to deal one-on-one with case managers. It becomes a more difficult thing.
Do we have an ability to know how many of those individuals there are and their identity?
We can ask the state to run a report. We generally know who they are because every time there's an issue with their Medicaid, they walk into our door, assuming they can resolve the issue with us or that we created the issue and that we have to send them to the state. And then ideally, Commissioner, what we should be able to do is when somebody like that walks in the door, we should be able to call the state and they should just transfer the case to us so that we can resolve the case at the county level because we received the criticism anyway and it would be easier to deal with it and the person would be able to get real-time updates on their cases.
Yeah, I mean, I just think maybe from an observation perspective, to the degree we Abe, have individuals that we use to, lack of a better term, lobby state agencies, that we become active in making sure we do that, because the result is individuals, like if an individual knows today that their Medicaid renewal is up in the end of June, and their income is $35,000, they're going to be denied, right? They're going to get a notification denying them of their Medicaid. Then that individual also often knee-jerk reacts in filing an appeal because they don't know. They've had it in many cases since COVID. And then that individual goes without coverage for a period of 30 days or as long as it takes for that review, which should be a review that takes 2 minutes of that appeal. So those individuals should then be directed to like programs like Get Covered NJ, which may equally provide them with similar coverage, right? Medicaid is basically always the best, but very similar coverage at little or no cost, depending on their income. But the failure of doing that proactively is resulting in, I've had a number of constituents that literally get prescription medications and find themselves for 30 days not having any prescription medications, waiting an appeal that is no chance in hell going to be successful.
Okay.
So maybe that's a different offline discussion, Administrator, but I think it's critical. It's affecting people's health. It's affecting people's lives. Frank, the other question I had is of programs under your management, how much and how many in dollars were or have been ARP funded?
Currently none, Commissioner. The American Rescue Plan, that was the first round of rental assistance. And the funds were allocated directly to the municipalities through the ARP. And what we did is we took the applications, but the funds were with the municipalities. We just operated.
All the programs with ARP were funded through Derice's department, Abe? And when I mean programs, Abe, I mean direct programs, meaning government employees operate them, as well as indirect employees, meaning we sub the work out to not-for-profits.
Yeah, most of the ARP monies were handled by Director Toom.
Okay.
As Frank indicated, what Frank indicated is that, you know, we did handle the rental assistant portion of that, but that program has ended.
And then I guess my last question, Frank, is that seeing what's going on in Washington related to Medicaid, like what should we be doing proactively to, well, one, in the perfect world, stop it from happening, but two, be prepared for what we are going to have to do to deal with our constituents that will be affected by those cuts?
You know, candidly, Commissioner, I'm not 100% sure there's much that can be done. The way the changes are going to come to welfare is through the budget. I would be most concerned about Medicaid. Right now, each state has to match the Medicaid. They have a match. Medicaid is a partnership between the state and the federal government. And the match is determined by the average median income of the state. And New Jersey has a very large average median income. So do most blue states. But the federal government has always had a 50% cap on that match that states have to contribute. The federal government, it seems, wants to get rid of that cap, which means that whatever the formula is, it is. And New Jersey would have a very large match. I think the last thing we heard from Human Services in Trenton was that might be an additional $2.7 billion that the state would have to put up to operate Medicaid as it operates right now. Or alternatively, the state can sort of reduce the amount of money you can make to be eligible for Medicaid, reduce allowable costs associated with Medicaid. On the food stamp side, what they want to do is they want to fine states that are above the error rate. The statute is 6%. The national average is about 9% the error rate. And if you are above that, they're looking to fine the states. It seems the way they would fine the state is through withholding administrative dollars. Like I said,
I saw a document, I believe, circulated through NJAC that showed a multi-million-dollar impact on almost every county, including us. Our rate may not be as bad as others, so it may not be as severe, but it was certainly severe. And if we don't have that in our budget, then the only option is for the state to give us the money, right?
Yeah, well, you know, that's what this is. What the federal government is doing is sort of, they're pushing the cost from the feds to the state. Yeah, and the states can decide how they're going to do it. Either they're going to pay it or they're going to change eligibility requirements to either give less people benefits or cover less things.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a bigger discussion for another day, but I don't think we can bury our head in the sand of it because it looks like it's going to come. It may come for 2 years and then Congress flips, but we should be cognizant and ready and prepared for it, because no solution of the ones that you just mentioned are good solutions.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Health and Family Services.
Commissioners, Health and Human Services is in Book 2, Section 9, starting on page 76.
Thank you, John.
Welcome.
Okay, who's up?
Doris, I guess.
Doris, you on?
Excuse me, you said book?
Book 2, Section 9, page 75. Doris,
Okay.
you're unmute yourself, please.
Okay, can you hear me, commissioners?
Yes, just let the recorder know, Doris, you're on.
By all means. Good afternoon, Doris Toon, Director of the Hudson County Department of Health and Human Services. And commissioners, thank you so much for this opportunity to come before you to discuss Health and Human Services 2025 budget. I just want to take a moment to let you know who's with me. I have Nicole Harrison Garcia, Deputy Director. Chief Accountant Isma Alam is with us virtually. The hospital administrator, Lucy Rubino is also with us from the hospital, and Comptroller Jose Alea, as well as representatives from the Hudson Regional Health Commission, Carrie Naraki and Marisol Guzman. Commissioners, you have been provided with a memo that addresses line item increases of 5% or more, vacancies, new positions, and overtime. Without including the hospital and Hudson Regional Health Commission, we have a few line items where there were increases of 5% or more. However, our other expenses have decreased overall. Also, we have one vacancy. We have two fully grant-funded new positions. And we provided you with a report on our 2024 accomplishments and 2025 goals. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go through the details of the report, but I will certainly point out that the report highlights some of the key accomplishments for Health and Human Services, also the hospital, and Hudson Regional Health Commission. My team and I are here to respond to any questions that you may have, commissioners.
Okay, commissioners?
Yeah, so I have that. I mean, this is the most extensive report by far. It begs one question, which is, can you give us what your goals, the one you gave us last year that showed us what your goals were, and then how did you meet those goals based on your accomplishments, right? That would be it's like in school when you bring in the longest report, then it begs a question, because I remember you did something similar last year. So when you list such a wide variety of goals, how many of those goals were met last year in your accomplishment section? But my bigger question is, you manage what is probably in the millions of dollars of ARP money that was given out over the last 3 or 4 years, some may internally, most out to other entities for programs. I asked this last year, Mr. Administrator, and have seen nothing yet within the budget process that shows me that you ever put together a group or committee to study what those programs were and what our game plan is going to be now that that money is no longer be available. So do you have a game plan for that? Was there a committee that's been meeting to go over all those different programs, that many of which were proven a great need for, but for which there'll no longer be those federal dollars available to fund?
There's no committee, Commissioner. There are some programs that we will be continuing, one of them being the food security, but by and large, most of the ARP funds were to address issues that arose as a result of ARP. So at this point, unless I'm given direction from the county exec's office, those programs, once they come to an end, will not be renewed.
But again, we don't even know, we've never even been provided a list of what those programs are for someone to analyze and determine, and we should certainly be part of that, at least process, whether others of those programs need to continue. There are some of those programs that are related to things like mental health. So are we assuming now that those issues have gone away and we no longer need to try to find ways to fund those services that are provided? I think that the reality of to just be dismissive of that is very short-sighted, and that what I asked for a year ago was to look at each and every one of those programs, who's served by them, is there alternative funding sources that we should be applying for? But I've never seen that document, and if I've got one criticism, and I haven't really been critical in the budget process of the last 2 days, it is that we've never gotten that, and I'm concerned about that, because whether it's 6 months from now or a year from now, we may be sitting here and suddenly finding out there's 6 nonprofits going out of business and 8 programs that there are 200 people enrolled in that rely on them very, very strongly that just are gone. And I think to simply say, well, the money's gone, good luck, is not the way government's supposed to function. I'm not saying we can fund all of them or how many of them we can, but not having that data and having that information ensures that we can fund almost any of them.
Questions? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah, but my question is, will you do that? Like, what does it take? If you don't want to have a committee to do it, what does it take for you to develop all of those programs that we have given funding through ARP? Give us whatever reports they provided us on an annual basis on the level of services, how many individuals have been served with them, etc. Provide that to us, and then let us on our own figure out how we can help them and or fight on our municipal level, on our county level, or on another level for those that which have proven that their need remains beyond the fact that our proven concept theory. Those programs have created a proven concept such that they need to be continued. Like that document we should have had already. I literally clearly asked that you guys set up a committee to do it. If you don't want to have a committee, you at least owe us. You owe us. You owe those entities and nonprofits that are getting funding under it, as well as all the individuals being served by it, at least an understanding of who they are, what they are, how much those dollars are, and then if we're not going to fund them, the chance for us to work with nonprofits to identify other funding sources, and if there are no other funding sources, what other programs will we be able to relay individuals into when those programs run out and the money's no longer there?
Commissioner, let me clarify something. I don't speak for the administration when it comes to the committee. So I don't say that I don't want to have a committee. I have not been given any instructions to form a committee. So I mean, you can have that discussion with the county exec's office. I'm not opposed to any committee. In terms of the data, I know that Director Toon has been working with Director Fuller. They have put together some information. I just don't know if it's been finalized. And if you would like, I can send it in a draft form so that it has been worked on. I just don't know what the status of it is because other priorities have taken up the ability to finalize it.
I got it, but I mean, I would assume because this is a really amazing document that Director Toon has provided to us, that document should exist in some form already.
Yes, and she can answer that.
And we should get it. Well, I mean, my question is, how quickly can you get it to us so we can start the process of understanding what's going to run out, when it runs out, how much it costs, how many people are served, and what they're served for, and what kind of services they receive.
If the information is provided to you, I'll give it to you that day. As I said, I know Director Toon has been working with Director Fuller to put it together. I just don't know the status of it. Perhaps Director Toon may know better than me.
Director Toon?
Commissioners, as the county administrator indicated, we have worked closely with finance to provide information regarding any of our ARP funded projects. We did identify those projects that we thought were the highest priority projects. We sort of categorized them for finance. So they do have that information. It's pretty much in the hands of our finance department.
So then we should be able to get it, right?
Yeah. Now, Commissioner, what we don't have there, but we'll be happy to provide is information on the LOS, level of service, or a better, or more detailed description of each of the different projects that we were funding. As you mentioned, we do have some projects that were focused on mental health. It was youth mental health services. We've also provided funding for food security initiatives as well.
And the food security programs are great. And the fact that you guys are gonna have made a policy decision to continue them is on the money. Like food's priority one, right? When I was in college, I learned that the reason in third world countries people with rocks and sticks would take on people that ran governments that had weapons is because if you don't eat for 3 or 4 days, hunger pains are so severe that you do things you may never imagine that you do to try to have something to eat. So I think that's great. But yeah, can we get the document as it exists? And then as you can fill in other information, who served, how many are served, et cetera, then we can take it from there. And the fact that you prioritize them is a good first step.
And I will make sure I communicate with Director Fuller once she's back, because she should have the final version of the document, and then we'll supplement it with our additional information. We'll also indicate in our information when the currently funded projects expire. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, that's all I had. I mean, I'd love to have a day through what appropriate, or I don't have to be on the committee, but the appropriate committee should literally go through what you have here. It's what we'd love to have. Every goal and then accomplishments and goals. What's missing is your goals for last year vis-a-vis your accomplishments from last year. So if you could put that would be great.
By all means, Commissioner, we'll be happy to provide you with that.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, I guess that's it. We'll have a motion or any comments. Carol Jean, don't forget, get me that number for the superintendent, please.
I will get that.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Bye, everyone.